Belief is the seed, action is the water, and success is the harvest. You cannot skip the seed. I know what it's like to start at zero, to face rejection. Courage is already inside of you. It's already inside of us.
Welcome to that smile on my face. May not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
In the same way that I studied and I wanted to be successful in ball is the way that I want to be successful in finance, right?
I love that.
Hello and welcome, my friends. It's Tony the Tycoon here, and I'm excited to dive into today's topic, the power of belief in building a multi-six-figure insurance career. Now, I want to talk to you directly about something that has transformed my life and many others in the insurance business. It's that inner game, the mindset of faith and conviction, that thing that fuels outer success. You see, in this episode, we're going to blend the spiritual and the practical, because in my experience, you need both truly to thrive. I wrote a book called Master the Market, Unveiling the Secrets to Amplifying Value in Insurance. And it reminds us of this thing in the first chapter. We talk about the alignment of one's belief systems. We talk about the alignment of not only one's belief systems, but also one's actions, and how that stands as the cornerstone principle for a life of purpose and achievement. You see, what you believe at your core guides how you act, and how you act determines the results you get. You cannot create anything extrinsically that you are not intrinsically. You can only create extrinsically the thing that you are intrinsically. So today, I want to help you make sure that your beliefs and your actions are aligned towards growth, abundance, and legacy. Now look, I'm not just speaking as an author or some motivator from the sidelines. I've been in the trenches of the insurance industry for about a decade. I know what it's like to start at zero, to face rejection, to wonder if you'll ever break through that income ceiling. I also know what it's like to have your back against the wall and then witness God show up and make a way where there seemed to be none. In this episode, as much as it is about faith, it's also about strategy. And my hopes for you is by the end of this, you'll have a practical framework to overcome fear and stagnation, and a fire lit under you to commit to your calling. So let's get into it, because your multi-six-figure success story is just waiting on you to write it. I need you guys to understand this. Belief is the cornerstone of transformation. You see, belief is powerful. It's the engine under the hood of every thriving insurance business. But before we get into tactics, we have to talk about this cornerstone concept, because you become what you believe. Spoken like this, Proverbs 23:7 says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." So in other words, the way that you think, the beliefs that you hold deep down inside, that will eventually shape your reality. If you see yourself as a struggling, average agent, guess what? Your actions will reflect that, and so will your income. But if you start to see yourself as a successful, high-value professional who genuinely helps clients, then you'll act differently and you'll get different results. There's one thing I want to hammer. I want to hammer this principle, and I wrote about it in the book. Our language, it definitely reveals our beliefs. I'll give you an example. I tell the story of an agent named John. He was a newly licensed agent who kept trying to succeed. You know the feeling, I'll try to make more calls. I'll try to increase my sales this month. The word try was giving John an escape clause, a way to fail gently. But when John learned to make one small change, not 10, not 20, just one, he stopped trying and started committing. He began to say things like, "I'm committed to doubling my sales efforts this month." That subtle yet profound shift in language ignited a new determination within him. As you can guess, his productivity jumped. He started landing more clients. And what you started seeing was the external results caught up with his internal commitment. So what's the lesson here? Eliminate lukewarm language. Don't try. Commit. When you truly believe in your goal, you don't give yourself wiggle room. You speak and act with determination and with certainty. You make the decision. Belief also means seeing an opportunity where others see obstacle. It's a perspective shift. In the first chapter of this book, I talk about another agent that I helped. Her name is Emily, who faced a painful rejection from a big client, but chose to see it not as a failure, but as feedback. She drew strength from her faith and asked, "All right, what are you trying to teach me here, Lord? How can I grow from this?" So instead of Emily retreating, she refined her approach and doubled down on building relationships. And she bounced back. And not only did she bounce back, but she bounced back stronger than ever. That's the power of faith-infused perspective. It turns setbacks into setups for a comeback. Every time you get knocked down, your belief and your mission, your determination, all of those things are going to be tested. You have to learn to stay with it. Gain those lessons. Ask yourself, what do I really believe about my career, my purpose, my ability? If there's any doubt or small thinking there, it's time to root that stuff out and replace it with a bigger vision. Align your inner belief with actions that you're going to take every single day. And when those two things line up, faith in works, hand in hand, you're going to become an unstoppable force. We've heard it said many a times, right? Faith without works is dead. So you need belief in action together. Once your mindset shifts from hoping for success to knowing that with God's help, success is inevitable. And if you put that in your work, that's when the game changes in your favor. One of the things that I've noticed about people in this industry is there's a lot of, overcoming fear and stagnation. So we have to address the elephant in the room. Because for many agents, fear and stagnation, they walk with that within the industry. You get folks in the industry dreaming of financial freedom and the multi-six-figure lifestyle, yet a huge percentage of them hit a wall. Maybe you can relate. The national median income for insurance sales agents is only about $60,000 a year. In fact, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, half of the agents out here make less than $60K, while the top 10 earn about $135,000 a year. That's a massive gap. So what makes the difference between the many that are stuck in average and the few who are absolutely crushing it? It's not like it's the leads or it's just luck, right? A lot of it comes down to mindset and belief. What I've come to realize, y'all, is that top performers believe they belong at the top. So they constantly act like top performers. Fear is often what keeps people average. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, even fear of success can paralyze you. I remember early in my career being so afraid of hearing the word no that I avoided tough conversations. I stayed in my comfort zone with easy prospects. And unsurprisingly, my revenue stayed comfortable, which is to say it stayed mediocre, just being honest. It wasn't until I confronted those fears head on that things started to change and shift. And by confronting them, I mean, I prayed on it, I sought wisdom, and I made a plan. Because something that I realized is that God hadn't given me that spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. That tells me that courage is already inside of you. It's already inside of us, and it's there through our faith. But the thing is, what I realized, and I made this discovery of, is that just because it's inside of you doesn't mean that you operate in it. You have to claim it, and then when you claim it, you act on it. So a key framework to beat stagnation is reframing fear as growth. I share another story about Alex in the book, his journey. It started out in a small office in Houston with big dreams, but he also had big anxieties. He battled the sting of rejection, like many of us do, and hearing the nagging voice of imposter syndrome. Does that sound familiar to you guys? But what I noticed is that Alex made a critical decision. Instead of accepting those fears as limits, he treated them as signals for where he needed to grow. He immersed himself in learning. He read every book on sales, marketing, and personal development that he could find. He sought out mentors and soaked up their advice and their knowledge. Each day, he worked not just in his business, but also on himself. And over time, the very areas where he felt insecure became his strengths. His knowledge and his confidence grew hand in hand. And here's the beautiful thing. As Alex's mindset started to shift, so did his results. He started closing more policies. He started connecting more deeply with his clients and even innovating with his firm. And before long, this former novice was knocking down six-figure years. And then multiple six figures kept coming because he kept scaling what worked. You got to work on the things that work. And eventually he went from being the new guy to becoming a leader and a mentor for others. So one of my favorite lines from that story is that Alex not only transformed his career, but he also set a standard for excellence and integrity in the life of the insurance industry. You see, what I want you guys to see from this is that his legacy is a testament to the power of growth and a growth mindset and the value of building authentic connections. Guys, don't miss that. I need you to catch that. His mindset and willingness to grow became legacy. The fears that once held him back became footnotes in a much larger story of success. It's here to show you that adversity is not here to scare you, but here to grow you. So let's not gloss over the authentic connections that are part of this, because it's huge. It's huge in building your business. You got to have a positive belief. You have to have an abundant mindset. And I firmly believe that when you operate within that mindset, not only do you help your community, not only do you extract that knowledge from mentorship, you yourself now can become a mentor. There's so many examples of this all around us if we just open our eyes and look for that. Have the awareness of those opportunities and see these stories that can inspire us. Having people within your circle that truly want to move with you, not against you, because iron sharpens iron. So when you surround yourself with peers and mentors who uplift and challenge you, your belief in what's possible multiplies. You start to see normal examples of extraordinary success, and it normalizes high achievement. It crushes that fear that says, oh man, people like me, we can't do that. No, you're literally seeing people like you do it. So if you're feeling stuck under an income ceiling, I need you to ask, well, who am I spending time with? Who's speaking into my life? Are they feeding my faith and ambition, or are they reinforcing my doubts? So you have to decide to connect with those who expand your vision. And most importantly, decide to trust that God has a plan for you, for your prosperity, when you align with his principles. There's a power reminder in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, verse 21. It says, don't be jealous of what sinners achieve. Just stick to your own work and trust the Lord. It's very easy for the Lord to make a poor person certainly rich. I love that. I really love that verse. Why? Because it's encouraging you to stick to your work. And in the world of social media, when we're looking at everybody else, it's telling us to stay locked into what we're supposed to do. Trust God. Do your part and he'll do his. Don't let envy or fear derail you. Stay faithful and stay diligent. God can elevate you in an instant when you're aligned and you're ready. Earlier, I already introduced you guys to Alex in this story, but let's dive a little bit deeper into that because it perfectly illustrates the spiritual and practical power of belief. I need you to picture Alex, a brand new life insurance agent, hustling in a big city, feeling totally green, right? He has enough self-awareness to realize that I'm not a natural born sales superstar. A lot of us, we've been in that position. We understand that. But he also has the spark of belief that he can become great if he puts the work in. That belief led him to invest in himself relentlessly. So he embraced what I call the novice to mentor mindset framework. First, you gotta be a student. Guys, you gotta absorb the knowledge and the skills. Then as you find success, become a teacher and lift others up. So what would happen is every late night he was reading and refining his pitch. He was fueled by a vision of his future self. When others might say things like, bro, why are you doing all of this? He would just stick to the script and he would make the calls. What Alex said was, no, I'm mastering my craft because I believe I'm not just here to sell policies. I'm here to make a real difference. You see, he believed he could offer more value. So guess what? That's what he did. He started applying creative strategies, using storytelling in his sales conversations, educating clients in free seminars, basically posturing himself as a trusted advisor rather than a salesperson. Month by month by month, people started to respond to that. Clients started referring others to him because they felt truly cared for and educated by Alex, not pressure. And of course, listen, he faced setbacks along the way. Not every idea worked on the first try, and that could have been very discouraging. But remember, belief isn't about never stumbling. It's about knowing you'll keep going when you do stumble. Alex kept his why strictly in front of him, and it kept it in the center because he wanted to secure a better future for his family and for himself and to serve his community. And he also wanted to protect the lives and legacies of others. That conviction gave him resilience. When a big prospect told him no, we chose a different competitor this time, Alex. And you know what he said? That's cool. I'll come back and ask you, can you give me some feedback so that I can improve my approach? He would even win some skeptics over later because they saw his growth and persistence. And in time, Alex's consistent faith and effort created a tipping point. The same guy who once struggled to meet monthly quotas was suddenly in the top ranks of his company. He earned the respect not just of his sales numbers or with his sales numbers, but also how he achieved them. And what did he use? His integrity, his empathy, and his consistent and constant improvement. You see, eventually leadership asked him to share his methods with the whole team. Imagine that. Imagine going from a newbie in the business to mentoring others on success. When he led workshops, he emphasized the internal game as much as the external techniques. He said, if you don't believe in what you're selling and in yourself as you're selling it, you'll never convince anybody else. But when you do believe, truly and deeply believe, that becomes magnetic. Clients can feel that confidence, y'all. They can feel that sincerity. It's inspiring. So by the time Alex's story comes full circle, it's clear this wasn't just about one man's success. It was about raising the bar for everyone around him. His belief-driven journey sparked a ripple effect. New agents he mentored started to flourish. His firm adopted some of his clients' first education-driven practices. The whole culture in the area that he operated in shifted a bit towards service and growth. That's what happens when you align belief in action. You don't just prosper, you change things around you. So as I summarized in the book, Alex's Legacy, this is a testament to a power of a growth mindset, not a lack mindset. This is a testament to the value of building authentic connections. He's living proof that an average agent with an above average belief can become an industry leader. Faith and the framework for flourishing, those are the things that Alex operated in. So look, we've covered a lot of ground: mindset shifts, personal stories, scriptures, strategies, all centered on this theme of belief. Now I want to tie it all together. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this: belief is the seed, action is the water, and success is the harvest. You cannot skip the seed and just hustle on action. It's like water on barren ground. Nothing grows if deep down you're riddled with doubt or a sense of unworthiness. Likewise, you can't just believe and not act. That's like expecting a harvest from a seed you never planted or watered. You need both. And when you believe right, you will act right. And when you act on faith-fueled planning, you'll have consistent results that will follow you. So look, I want to outline a quick framework for you guys. I want you to think of it as mindset blueprint. This thing that has emerged all out of these stories and principles. We talked about conviction and purpose. You have to know why you're in this business. Maybe it's to provide a great life for you and your family, or to help your community to honor God with your talents, or all of the above. Whatever it is, keep that purpose in front of you. It will strengthen you, and it will strengthen your belief when challenges and adversity strike. Just like Alex, purpose-driven agents push through even when the obstacles are there to try to stop them. I need you to commit to your growth. Accept that you don't know it all, and that every master was once a novice. This keeps you humble and hungry, guys. Believe you can learn what you need to learn in this industry. The moment you think that I've arrived, the moment you think that, I'm telling you, growth dies. It instantly stops. So instead, stay a student of the game for life. Your language and your self-talk, you have to change the language from try to commit. When you say to yourself, you know what, this matters, and you start to speak life over your business instead of, I'm not good at cold calls. Instead of saying that, say, I'm getting better each time I step out of my comfort zone. Instead of, the leads are dry these days, say, I'm the initiative marketer. I can find new ways to attract clients. This isn't about blind optimism. It's about programming your mind to find solutions. Your self-talk should reinforce your belief, not undermine it. You need to make sure your surroundings and your support system are solid, because you've heard mentorship and community accelerate the success. You've seen these examples. But you need people in your circle who will uplift your belief. That might mean finding a coach, joining a mastermind, or high-achieving agents, or simply an accountability partner who just shares your values. Don't forget the spiritual support part, because I'm telling you, for me, it's been absolutely critical to surround myself with fellow believers and to stay plugged in. To stay plugged in to people that are moving in positivity and positive thought processes. The next thing you need to do is you need to focus on your value, not just the revenue. Now, I know it sounds counterintuitive when you desperately want higher income. I get it, but the secret path to that income is focusing on your impact. how you're improving your clients' lives, how are you educating them and protecting them and guiding them. The more you believe and concentrate on delivering value, the more your revenue will grow as a natural consequence. As the good book says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. That's in Proverbs 22. And ironically, when you choose the good name, doing right by people, the great riches, they tend to find themselves to you. You tend to find you because everybody wants to work with the agent that they trust. There's a resilience and a faith factor that you have to have. There will be tough days, maybe even seasons in your business. This is where your faith in God and your belief in yourself have to tag team and keep going, right? One of my favorite scriptures is in James 1:3, which reminds us that the testing of our faith produces perseverance. So when you face a trial or a deal falls through or a client lapses a policy or a global pandemic hits like we saw, instead of thinking, oh, here we go, man, this is the end. This is what I've been waiting on. Instead of thinking that, reshape your mind. How is this working for me? How is this shaping me for the better? What strength am I gaining from this? Remember, we talked about it. God can uplift you in an instant. And a lot of times the adversity that we're going through is for us to be purified, to work on those things that we need to work on so that we can serve the people that we need to serve. It's the be, do, have principle. In order to have the life that you want, you have to do the thing to become the person in order to have that life. Become more by doing more, and then you'll have more. Be a little, do a little, have a little. Be a lot, do a lot, have a lot. So look, everything we talked about today scratches the surface of what I dive into when it comes to the book, Master the Market. And I truly wrote this to be a guide for you and a guide for agents like you to elevate your value, build a business that you're proud of, and become that trusted advisor in your clients' lives. So let's talk about some things that we've covered. We've covered some lessons about aligning your belief. You have to align your belief in order to have the success that you're looking for. We talked about a theme from the novice to the mentor. There's so much more. There's so much more. We're about audience building, digital marketing, automating systems, all of these things. This is just a blueprint. It's not about the money. That's the end result. This is about the becoming. So if you found that story that I shared with you guys about Alex motivating, you'll find the book extremely insightful to be able to help you get to the place that you want to get to. At the end of the day, this is not just about what I can do, how I can do it, where I can do it. This is all of those things encompassed to then elevating belief. So I invite you to get a copy of Master the Market, Amplifying Value in Life Insurance. I'm going to put the link in the description, and I want it to be your companion on this journey. I want you to mark it up, take as many notes as you can, apply the steps, and I promise you that you'll have the potential to see the change that you're looking for. And hey, don't go at it alone. Look, bring your team. If you have peers, bring them. Do a book club or a weekly challenge together. Remember, success is better shared. We've been talking for a minute. We're going to wrap this thing up. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a call to action that goes beyond just do this and do that, right? I want this thing to speak to your soul as well as to your ambition. Now is your time, you guys. So if you're listening to me right now, I believe it's not by accident. You were called to a purpose, and you were called for a purpose in this marketplace. Yes, you. You might be an independent agent, you might be a broker or a manager, whatever your role. You're not just selling insurance. You're providing a peace of mind. You're securing legacies for families. You're helping businesses survive the unexpected. And that's noble work. That's work that you should be proud of. Embrace that truth and let it fuel your belief so that way you understand what you do truly matters, because it does. From that place of purpose, aim for profit that sustains and amplifies your mission. There's nothing wrong with wanting to earn multi-six-figure income. You have to be fine with that thought process. Don't allow limiting beliefs or voices from your past to tell you otherwise. You see, your past is your professor. It's not your prisoner. Don't remain locked in that. Money in the hands of a good person creates opportunities, not only for you and not only for your family, but for your community. It's like that famous verse often misquoted, right? They talk about money itself isn't evil. It's the love of money that is. So when you love people and use money as a tool, you're doing it right. So go ahead and build that prosperous business. Do it with integrity. Do it with generosity. And watch how God will multiply your impact. Lastly, fix your eyes on legacy. Legacy isn't just something you leave when you're gone. It's something that you're building every single day, brick by brick by brick. It's the way you treat the client no one else had time for. It's the extra mile you go to ensure a claim gets paid smoothly. It's the example you set for your children or those coming up behind you in the industry. When you operate from unshakable belief and purpose, you're already living your legacy. Every policy you put in force is a future difference in someone's life. Think about it. This is kingdom work you're doing. You're being a good steward of talents and opportunities. So here's my challenge. Commit, say it again, commit to your belief-driven breakthrough. Don't let this just be another nice video you heard. Take action. Faith without works is dead. It's action time. Maybe your first step is small. Maybe it's replacing a negative thought with a positive affirmation each morning. Or maybe it's finally reaching out to that top-tier agent in your area to ask for mentorship and ask for help. Whatever it is, do it today. And I'd love to support you on this journey. That's why I want to personally invite you to join my strategy email list. Information will be in the description, but if you go to statekebooks.com/insure, INSURE, by joining this, you'll get regular insights, encouragement, and advanced strategies straight from me.